Welcome back. If it's your first time to the channel, my name is Ryan. I'm a full-time reseller on sites like eBay and Poshmark and a little bit of Depop. I only had one sale there so far, but I am going to try. What I want to talk about in today's video is pretty much research, market research to be exact. I mainly do clothing, and market research is really important when you're out and about at the thrift store. You can be a lot faster if you know the brands you're looking for. There are several profitable brands out there, but if you niche down, you can kind of know exactly what to look for. Some people are kind of everything for clothing, that just long as they think they can flip it for a profit. And that's how I kind of was at first. I kind of niched down a little bit. There is a store around me called Shields that opened up, I think, a year ago. They're kind of an outdoor place, kind of like your Bass Pro Cabela's, but higher end. They carry your North Face, your Patagonia, your Travis Matthew. They carry your Sitka. They carry, Columbia too. Outdoor active gear kind of things. So that's kind of what I like to focus on. Now, don't get me wrong, I will pick up things that it's not sold at Shields. Like, I'll pick up certain Polo Ralph Lauren items. I'll pick up, Vineyard Vines, certain items. I'll pick up just things that have crazy prints. I am a sucker for crazy prints. I myself wear pretty neutral colors. I wear pretty much brown, black, blue, and occasionally, not really white, but like a cream or color kind of thing, or off-white. I don't really wear the bright all over prints, but I know they can be popular and they do seem to sell fast. And it looks like someone's dog. So those are some of the things I do sell. I like things that are just all over print, and I do look at Shields for kind of inspiration of how I want my store to be. My store does not have, like I said, it's not mainly focused just on Shields items. I do focus on things that kind of hopefully make me $20 profit or more. I am getting close to that 3,000 mark on items, which can be, I guess, a good thing, but a bad thing. I don't really want a huge store, but I do want to make sure I'm really trying to push for that 14 items at $20 profit to sell a day. That's really what I want. But I have noticed that when I was just around like 1,000 items, obviously I'm picking up better items because I've gotten better as a reseller. And that's all because of market research. The more you are reselling, you are doing market research on items. You're picking up that knowledge of what sells. And if you can know in advance what sells, you're going to spend less time looking at your phone or kind of trying to figure out what's it worth. So if you have that knowledge in advance, it definitely does help. So back to like Shields, as how I kind of like try to look at a secondhand Shields now. I know my name is Hollow Box Collectibles. I've had it for over 10 years. It was originally when I did comic books, trading cards, things like that. And honestly, I just didn't want to change the name. I've already had the name. Most of my friends and family already knew my name, and I just didn't want to change it. So yes, I'm doing clothing more now, but there are a lot of collectible clothing I do sell. I sell a lot of player issue stuff, and I do sell the occasional collectibles. So there was a music box I just sold, which is really cool. I was really excited to find it when at the Goodwill bins, and it sold in like 3 days for $50. So there was nothing else sold, no sold comps on it. I looked up the brand and what it was, and there was a different model that sold, but mine was in great shape, and mine ended up going to Germany. So I love when things go international shipping, because once it gets to that hub, it's out of my hand. If they want to return it, it goes to eBay, they take care of it. but I did make sure to wrap this thing in like 1 inch of bubble wrap. So what I did, because there are jagged corners and things like that, I wrapped it with like a foam wrap, so those corners can kind of push that foam. And then I did the small bubble wrap, and then I did the big bubble wrap. I know it might have been overkill, but it all fit in an 8x8 box, and hopefully it gets to there safe for the buyer. And I hope they enjoy it, because honestly, I was this close to just try to re-gift it to one of my kids' teachers, but I was like, why not? Let's sell it. Let's. For sure, I wanted to get it out of here. I mean, it was really cool, but for sure it didn't. I knew I wasn't going to be the end user of it. So one thing you can do for market research is look at what's active, and I know no one likes to hear sell through, but look at what's active and what's selling. I don't really quite understand. A lot of people hate this guy. Or hate's a strong word. Dislike this guy. I don't know why exactly. I mean, I get why. Just, I think how he says things, they're kind of direct, very direct. So, but if you don't know, his name is Pegasus Lounge, and Pegasus Lounge kind of goes through resellers and critiques a lot of teaching resellers. I am not a teaching reseller. I am just sharing my journey and what I've learned along the way. I'm not trying to teach anybody. So if Pegasus Lounge sees this, please don't critique me, because I'm just sharing my experience and I'm learning along the way. But this is the whole point for Pegasus Lounge, is he said something about how can you have over 100% sell through, and he's right.
Here's the thing. The actual way you're supposed to calculate this, if you were to go by this logic, and I'm going to also prove to you guys that this whole logic is wrong, is that if we're going to do this, hey, once upon a time, sold items used to also be a listing, weren't they? So therefore, you're supposed to add this together and then do the math. So therefore, you are supposed to, over the 90-day period, take the sold and then divided by the sold plus the listed in order to get the proper calculation. So what you're supposed to do here is that it's supposed to be 50 over 150. Does that make sense? So you added 50 to 100, so you get 150 at the bottom, and then the sold remains the same. So once you do the calculation here, you get a total of 1/3, equaling to 33.3%. That's the actual calculation. So if we were to apply this again, instead of 100 over 100, it should have been 100 over 200. You know, shout outs to Wild Bill and Exquisite, man. Thanks for hanging out on my channel every now and then. So now what this calculation should be is 50%. And then when we take the big boy number all the way at the end, it should have been 300 over 400. Does that make sense? So 3 over 4 boils down to 75%.
You know, being in management roles, you know, having 2 degrees in business, I totally get where he's coming from compared to other resellers. And you can't really have an over 100% sell through, because those sold items were once in the market. So you have to calculate those as well. So if there's, say, 50, you know, active and 50 sold, there was 100 at one point in that 90 days. So you have a 50% sell through. You don't have 100% sell through. So, and 50% is good. 50% sell through is good. People like to see it as, well, there's 50 and 50 sold. That's 100% sell through. And I'm like, no, that's a 50% sell through. But let me know what you think on that, because I know a lot of people say for sell through is, you know, no, it's this way or it's this way. I say you have to calculate what was in the market to begin with. That's just my opinion. I would love to hear what you guys think, but that's how I would personally calculate. So I'm gonna say I agree with Pegasus Lounge on this one, because any kind of business, any kind of inventory, I've done procurement, you have to calculate what you had previously and what you used. So that's my opinion. Love to hear what you guys think on that. So when you are looking at sell through of an item, you do want to look at see what things are selling for. You do not want to buy something for $5 and sell it for $15 and only makes, say, $7, $8, depending on what your fees are. If you do promote it, if you don't do promote it, or if you're on Poshmark and it's at 20% for fees, unless you boost it. Once again, Depop, they have really low fees, which is really cool, but I feel like once it's been on the platform probably a while, it sits. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure. I will say I live in a neighborhood and kids are getting out of school, so you might hear some kids. Let me pause this. I'm filming outside because, once again, because there is kids, my kids will probably be home here soon, and I want to make sure I catch the bus for them to get off. That's one great thing about kind of working. I hate using the word work from home because I am not home that much unless I'm taking pictures and working on listings. And sometimes when I'm working on listings, I'm working on listings in my truck outside of a thrift store while they're waiting to open, or I sometimes do it early in the morning. I'm leaving in some of the bloopers because why not? This is real life. It's not perfect. Things happen. But like I said, I'm outside waiting for my kids to get home. So that's why there's things around me happening, because that's life. Life happens. Currently, I am only using eBay to actually look at sell-through of an item. So if there are other places to kind of look at sell-through, I would love to hear about it, because right now I'm just looking at eBay. There probably might be other places to look. I just am not aware of it. I'm 10 months in to being full-time, and even when I was doing comics and cards, eBay was the stock market. I mean, so that's what I'm so comfortable using for the past 10 years of kind of reselling on eBay. Jeez, these people keep talking. I don't know if you guys can hear them. They're loud. But I hope you guys find some humor in me leaving some of this stuff in there, because why not? It can be funny, I guess. But back to sell-through and looking up items, it is important. You don't really want to list an item that's got 10 items and none have sold in the past 90 days. You're just gonna sit on it. I know I don't like to sit on a lot of stuff. I probably have like 100 items roughly that are over a year. I try to push my inventory as fast as I can. I do not want it. If it is getting close to a year, it just goes straight to like a 50% off, because I'm ready to move on from it. Let's try again. Let's try something different. And that's why I don't, yeah. I will say I'm getting distracted myself because of all the noise. It just is what it is. But I do want to continue doing my daily vlogs. So that's why I'm leaving it in, because this is honestly one of the few space and times I have to record a video, is either right before the thrift store opens or right before my kids get home off the bus. So that's just reality of life, of time and schedule, because as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going to post the rest of my 20 listings, maybe 25 listings, we'll see, because I have a lot of pictures on my phone. and then I'll try to relax the rest of the evening. I started at 6 a.m. and probably will finish around 6 p.m. That's just the schedule I have for myself. So I find it very important to do your market research. The better you are at knowing an item, the better you're gonna be out there at thrift stores, garage sales, storage lockers, auctions. You're gonna be a better reseller by just doing research. But you also have to be aware that seasons change and markets change. Something that might have sold 6 months ago may not really sell now. Something, that wasn't selling a year ago might sell now. It's kind of crazy how trends and fashions happen. So if you like this video, I know it might have been kind of all over the place, but that's the reality sometimes, especially with these daily vlogs. Please give it a like. Please comment below if there's something else you are using besides eBay for your market research. And if you want to catch more content like this, please subscribe. Maybe without all the bloopers this time. But we'll see you next time. Bye.